You're live, and this is the Aaron Zero Show with another edition of Today's Noise and all the noise you never want to hear. Well, what's going on? Iran war. Apparently, the leaders have an understanding with USA that they will have nuclear inspections, according to Mr. Vance. The Iranians say no, so one does not know who to believe. In any case, Mr. Trump is saying it's a great victory. I don't know how it's a great victory because Iran held out despite the bombs being dropped on it or missiles, and it had a double attack, that of USA and Israel, and still held out. So actually, Iran has won a strategic victory, and it has learned that it has the power to close the Strait of Hormuz, which it never did before. It was never thought of, but because of the attacks by USA and Israel, this is a new modus operandi. So, according to Iran, just now, the ships will be going for free through the Strait of Hormuz. After 60 days, then they will decide the fees that are to be charged in consultation, I guess, with the state of Oman. Who knows what happens? And of course, Mr. Trump says that if they don't agree, then we'll start bombing them. So that is a very keyhole view of Iran, to say the least, because you cannot make anybody change their views if you start bombing them. And neither can you make anybody change their views if you tell the negotiation team that if you don't agree, then we will murder you on the way back. So that also doesn't speak so much for good negotiations. Anyway, Iranian President Mr. Pezeshkian is supposed to be visiting Pakistan today to talk about the developments and other developments in the area. He's supposed to be a heart surgeon, I believe, and a very learned person amongst all the other mullahs and whatever that you have in Iran. Uh, the Russian Ukraine war continues with Ukraine causing heavy damage in Crimea, and another missile producing plant in the city of Voronezh, and apparently they also managed to kill some people or something happened there. So it doesn't look good for peace. Peace is going to pieces, but Mr. Putin doesn't care as long as he's got people he can send to the border to get killed, and he can have bombs and missiles to drop on Ukraine. And in Europe, just now, a heat wave is going on due to the heat dome, which is a mass of hot air which has come from sub-Saharan Africa, and it's parked itself over Europe. So the temperatures are skyrocketing, where European temperatures were usually in the 20 degrees centigrade and below. They have now shot up to nearly 40 degrees. And in France, especially, they have canceled a lot of outdoor events. And that's the new reality just now in France. In Italy, also, I believe the temperatures are nearing the 38 degrees centigrade mark, which is a huge change for Italy, too. Italy is usually in the 20-degree range or 35 at the max. And of course, in Spain also, it has touched 40 degrees. And elderly Europeans are at most risk because their bodies are not adapted to that kind of hot weather. So they are in a dangerous condition for them. basically. And of course, out here in Delhi, we're used to 40 degrees. It's 40 degrees every single day. Though today we just had a rain shower, so it's really cooled down. It's nice and cool. And India at this point is a little cooler than Europe, believe it or not. And what else do we have? We have the World Cup going on with Lionel Messi scoring some 17th or 18th goal and reaching some World Cup record. But I want to ask you, two of the most largest countries with the largest populations, I mean, India and China, are not there at the World Cup, which I find strange at all. And if you have 2 billion people, 2 billion plus, there definitely should be a team there representing India and China. And if they're defeated in the qualifying rounds, so be it. But at least they should get a chance to play. This is my feeling, basically. To not have them qualify or whatever is a bunch of baloney as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, there we go. And President Obama celebrated the opening of his presidential library. And we were looking back at President Obama's history, born in Honolulu in 1961, to Anne Dunham and Barack Obama Sr., who was a Kenyan student at the University of Hawaii. And then later on, they both divorced and separated. And Barack Obama was largely brought up by his mother, who was a white American lady, and who later devoted much of her life to caring for people on the African continent, if I believe correctly. And Barack Obama, of course, was president for two terms, 44th president of USA from 2009 to 2017, launched the Affordable Care Act, and was responsible for winding down the Iraq War and getting Osama bin Laden knocked out. And he was hiding in Pakistan, right under the Pakistani noses. And of course, they said we never knew that he was there. So, and of course, Barack Obama won the Nobel Peace Prize too. And of course, really, he is a quality man. You can see it whenever he opens his mouth. Very eloquent, even now, uh, after being a two-term president. He has more common sense in one sentence that he says than the present leadership, which is inhabiting the White House, which is full of a lot of hot air, to say the least. And it's the art of not doing the deal, basically. On that level, we leave you and wish you a wonderful day. Subscribe by the billion.